so it is another match week. I think it's match week 16 or something of the Premier League. And we're at a point, gentlemen, where you can start to look at title races and thinking who's involved, who's not involved. I don't think I'm going to get any agreement with this, with some other people saying, Neil Mellor, oh, Man City are out of it now. This is more than a blip. They're done for. There's too many other good teams around them and they can't win this league now.
15 games gone, 23 to go. I think when there's 10, maybe 12 games to go, I think that's when you can start talking about a title race. There's just too much football left to play before we can start talking about a title race. Spurs started really well. Spurs fans were actually talking about a title race. Where are they now? Absolutely nowhere near it. Villa fans are having a really good run, talking about maybe being in a title race. Let's see where these teams are with 10, 12 games to go, and then we'll start talking about a title race. What we do know is City will be in the mix. Arsenal might be, probably will be. Liverpool probably will be, but City definitely will be in the mix. So finish above City, you're going to win the league this year. So long way to go. And you'd be pretty silly to rule City out at this stage.
Paul, are we still looking at it? Everybody's still looking at City and thinking,
yeah,
got to finish above them.
Listen, City historically never start a season particularly well. They've started this season really well. They're having the blip now, but it's more of a blip than they normally have. They've hit a real bump in the road. I think, you look at the recent results, 1 win in the last 5 all competition. The biggest worry for Pep is the goals they're conceding. They're conceding 11 in the last 5, not to mention Villa Park. 4 at Stamford Bridge, 2 at home to Leipzig, 3 at home to Tottenham. And it's just the manner of the goals, the ease of which goals have been scored against them. It's one straight ball through. The defence are not hard to break down. But we're talking about Manchester City, the strength of the squad. Pep won't be worried about the way that the results are, its performances and conceding the goals. There's a title race, there's a real title race, and I think for the first time, I think it's good for the Premier League, I really do. With not just Man City dominating, but last couple of seasons it's been Man City and Liverpool, or Man City and Arsenal, we've got 2. I genuinely think we've got a real title race with 3 teams. We've got Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City now. Any one of those 3 can win it. I, like Neil, always say, whoever finishes above Man City will win the league. They are the benchmark. They've set the benchmark for a number of years now, and I think that they still are the benchmark, and they'll come good, because if you look at those teams, for me, out of anyone in the league, they're the only ones capable of putting a 10, 12, 13 game unbeaten run together.
However, and the point I'm going to make here is that, yes, City is still good. Yes, Liverpool and Arsenal have got better. Maybe City have dropped off a little bit. But Neil, are there a couple of other sides, maybe 2, 3, 4 other sides in that division now who can do what Aston Villa did the other night? Not necessarily go for a title, but they can take points off the ones who are going for the title.
Possibly, yeah. City been beaten, 3 times this year? Wolves away, no one expected that. Thought Villa would give them a game. It could have dropped points. Probably didn't expect to lose that one. And Arsenal away as well. And all 3 games have been without Rodri. We're now probably getting to the stage where it's like, well, no, De Bruyne. They've been without De Bruyne all season. And he's such a key player for them. How are they going to be with the World Club Cup Championships coming on? They're going to drop points at some point in the Premier League because of that. The games before, the games after that. I don't know how they're affected with the African Cup of Nations. I don't know how many players they'll have involved in that, if they do have any. But yeah, there's stumbling blocks along the way where I think City will drop even more points. I think Paul mentioned it there. It'd be great to have a title race. It would be great to have a title race because City have dominated it for so many years in recent seasons, haven't they? Only Liverpool have really pushed them. Arsenal had a go last year. Didn't even get 90 points. I think if you get 90 points this year, you've got every chance of winning the Premier League. Only Liverpool have shown that they can get that number. Arsenal's 84 was nowhere near it, was it? Not quite, anyway.
Means we get a few more blockbuster games as well, don't we, Paul? In previous seasons, if you look at Villa Arsenal, it'd be like, well, it'd probably be Arsenal win that. Whereas this time around, it's going to be, we need to watch this game because it's going to be fireworks.
Yeah, it's the game of the weekend, Villa. You look at Villa's record at home, 14 wins, going for a record 15th this weekend against Arsenal. And you're talking about an Arsenal team who I think they're different to what they were last year. I think they're better than what they were last year. They seem to have a stronger backbone. They have a resilience about them. But listen, we're talking about an Arsenal that went to Luton and conceded 3. So they are susceptible at the back and they will concede goals. Villa at home, they're a frightening proposition. Before the City game, there were 10 games without a clean sheet, and then they go and beat City. But it wasn't just a lucky 1-0, was it? We all saw the game. They dominated shots, they dominated crosses, they dominated possession, and they could have won by more than 1-0. They're really, really impressive at home, Villa. And Arsenal going there this weekend, okay, they've had 4 straight wins in the Premier League, but it's value you look for. And there's a lot of value, again, in Villa. Arsenal aren't short as Man City were, but Villa still second favourites at home after a record like that. I'm on Villa again.
Oh, well, we'll find out all about that. All about that next as we get into this weekend's footballing action.